You know, as a filmmaker, I have to admit I've imagined being on the stage getting an Academy Award. But this is cooler because I get more than 20 seconds. I love making the invisible visible because there's so much around us we can't see. And using the art of time-lapse and slow-motion cinematography, I can take people on a journey through time and scale. Have you ever imagined what it would be like to see the world from the point of view of a hummingbird or a butterfly? If you could see life from their point of view, it would expand your vision, it would open your heart, it would unveil the mysteries of life, and that would be truly transformational.
We are all born with a sense of wonder. Sometimes it's triggered by astonishing feats, monuments to mankind's capabilities, extraordinary talents and gifts, or scientific discoveries that push the boundaries of comprehension. But more often, we experience wonder by truly seeing the world around us. Wonder and awe allow us to transcend the ordinary. Even to test our concepts of time and scale. We are overcome with the sense of being small in a grand universe. We're unaware of past or future. We are, as they say, in the moment. We use the word breathtaking to describe it because it actually takes our breath away. Wonder inspires us to open our hearts and our minds to engender gratitude.
Thank you. So wonder and awe brings us into the present moment, and that unleashes our imagination. It helps us adjust our perception of time. It influences our decision-making. It makes us more patient, more willing to help others, and that makes life much more satisfying. It makes us feel rich in time. When was the last time any of you felt rich in time? We need to bring nature into our lives because it helps us build resiliency. People often ask me, how did you get started filming all these beautiful shots of nature? Well, I didn't grow up in the woods. I actually grew up on the streets of Brooklyn. I think my first whitewater experience was racing popsicle sticks down the gutter. My parents were Holocaust survivors. They met after the war in a relocation camp. And after knowing each other for only 2 weeks, they decided to get married. And friends who they had just met stood in for their parents to walk them down the aisle. They came to America a few years later with my sister and nothing more than the clothes on their back. They were resilient. But growing up under their roof, I learned under that lens of gratitude that they appreciated every blessing that came their way, like food on the table, a roof over their heads, a steady job, and the miracle of having children. And under that roof, I also grew up wanting to make the world a better place. So I headed off to UCLA as a history major, but how could I study the French Revolution when there was a revolution happening right outside my door? The students were protesting against the Vietnam War, which turned out to be an unjust war. And of course, the police brutality stopped the protests from happening. We didn't have camera phones back then, so I quickly had to learn how to use a camera. And that camera protected me and other people from being beaten. This is an FBI agent on campus that was taking photos and writing down names and arresting all the student leaders. These were my first photographs. I also learned it was a lot easier for me to hand in a photo essay than to write a paper. And in the times we're experiencing right now, it probably doesn't hurt to take a look back and see that maybe there's a connection. The repression that happened back then spawned Earth Day and the liberation movements for women and people of color. I continue to capture magic moments, and I fell in love with photography and filmmaking. And I continue to capture moments by chasing the light. And that's when I met my greatest teacher. Mother Nature taught me everything about lighting and composition, texture, color, and movement. She also taught me how to live a creative and sustainable life, because Mother Nature isn't greedy and will never waste a single molecule. She also helped me connect with the deepest part of my soul. So after I graduated, I went to Northern California to a little town called Elk. I didn't have much money, but I did have time and a sense of wonder. And I imagined, what if I could take these old cameras to shoot time-lapse built in the 1920s, but they had this big AC motor attached to the back of them, and obviously my extension cord wouldn't be long enough to go outdoors. So I thought, what if I could build a small little motor that ran on batteries so that I could take these cameras outdoors and capture the magic of fog rolling in and out, and shadows moving through the forest, and shafts of light through landscapes, and flowers opening and closing. I've had a camera rolling now 40 years, nonstop, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, capturing time-lapse flowers, and I've squeezed that into 16 hours of film. I want to share with you what life would be like if you could see it from the point of view of a flower. So the flowers seduced me by their beauty, color, taste, aroma. And what I learned after shooting these flowers all these years is that beauty is nature's tool for survival because we protect what we love. And that's why puppies are cute. That's why kittens are cute. And babies are cute. That's why your kids are cute. If they weren't cute, you throw them out with the bathwater. It's called unconditional love. And your grandkids are cute. We're hardwired to love because DNA wants to move forward, and so does our living planet. So I've always imagined, what would it be like? Could I put a time-lapse camera in space in order to film the Earth? Well, thanks to breakthrough technology and using data, we can simulate that image, the movement of humanity on Earth. Every blue dot you see is a plane taking off, and using data, we can create an image that's invisible and above us constantly, the vast network of air traffic over America. We can do the same thing with ships at sea. we can use data to create a time-lapse image of a global economy in motion. And decades of data can show us the currents in the ocean, clouds in the atmosphere, lightning adorned by the aurora borealis. This could be the ultimate time-lapse image, the anatomy of Earth brought to life. Thank you. So let's come down to earth, but not all the way. This is the Soarin' ride that I did for Disney theme parks, and I was fortunate enough to be able to travel around the world and capture these incredible wonders. But sadly, a lot of them are on the verge of disappearing because of climate change. In China, 2 hours outside of Beijing, we could not take off for 2 days because the visibility was so bad, I literally could not see the Great Wall below me. In Greenland, the elders talked to me about the fact that the ice was too thin for them to hunt. And that melting ice is raising the sea levels, and in Fiji, many of the small islands are already going underwater. But the highlight for me last year was during the Paris summit. A number of filmmakers were asked to go to Rome and project imagery on the Vatican in order to support Pope Francis's encyclical to protect the environment in front of 20,000 people. Imagine how I felt, the son of Holocaust survivors, being able to project light and beauty on the Vatican, given that they were silent during the roundup of Jews in Italy and throughout Europe. Times do change, things get better, I've got hope, but I think we have to remain vigilant. I wish I could have shared it with my parents. Thank you. So in these times of breakdown and breakthrough, we need to imagine that solutions are possible. We can't allow our political leaders to turn their backs on science in fear and denial. We need to get them to work. We need to compel them to work for solutions and partnerships that we need. We also need to reach out to people that have different views than we do by finding common ground and being able to agree we want a healthy planet for our children. These are difficult times, and we're facing big challenges, but we can rise to the occasion. We need to wake up and imagine that we can live in a better world. We can't waste a single day, because this is our one and only home. We need to protect what we love and celebrate life. Thank you. Thank you.